What's happening? Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, July 16th, 2020. And this morning, we're going to chat a little bit we're going to continue a little bit of the conversation from yesterday. We're going to talk about the days you don't feel like it. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life. And then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right. What is happening, everybody? Good morning to you. Happy Thursday. You know, I was thinking about what to talk about this morning, and I figured, man, what more appropriate topic to talk about, because we touched on it yesterday. And to be honest, when my alarm went off this morning, I didn't really feel like it. I didn't really feel like, getting out there and going for my morning run. I didn't feel like sitting down and getting organized this morning. I didn't feel like eating healthy yesterday. I didn't feel like any of that stuff, right? And, I think it's something that everybody feels. Mr. Calloway agrees. Another one of his favorite subjects. It is not about how you feel. It's not about what you feel like doing. There's responsibilities in this world that we all have to be the best version of ourselves, right? And we were given a gift from God to reach, pursue our potential, our true potential. And so it's not about how you feel in that moment. It's about what you make promises to do. It's about that routine that you set in place, that you commit to, that so often we just let go by the wayside. And so as we approach the start of 90 days of hard discipline starting tomorrow, I thought this was an appropriate topic to talk about this morning. I want to say good morning to some folks. What's happening? Tammy Clark, good morning to you. Jared Bird, my man, good morning. Christina Clayton, my man, good talking to you last night. Bob Kopesky, the man ran into our crew out on the road in Georgia in the middle of nowhere. Like, what are the chances? Carla, good morning to you, Mr. Calloway. Always a pleasure to see you here, man. Bruce, good morning. Trisha, I heard Andy Frisella in my ear. Yeah, me too. My wife is on here. Good morning, babe. Love you. And let's see if there's anybody else. I can't see everybody on that stream. Michael Kistner, good morning, man. Thank you for being here. Jeff Baker, good morning to you. All right, so here's what I think about those days you don't feel like it. I think that those days you don't feel like it are pretty much the same for everybody. Like there's a certain percentage of days that everybody doesn't feel like it. And so if we, level the playing field for everybody and assume that most people have, the same percentage of those days, then isn't it fair to say that those people that really achieve a higher level of success, that it is probably created or lost on those days they don't feel like it? And that is something that I have trained myself to think is when we hit patches of adversity, whether it's personally or in business or whatever it is, when I hit a patch of adversity, and it doesn't matter, adversity goes from a 1 to a 10, right? But when I hit those patches of adversity, I'll tell you what I've done. I've trained myself to switch my brain to literally get excited, because I know that is where I'm separating myself from the competition, where my life is getting significantly better than someone else. I just have to go through that painful process or uncomfortable process of whatever that adversity is. But that adversity is very different when you have something in mind at the end that is going to be accomplished by it. And so I want you to think about that. The next time you wake up and, man, you just don't feel like it, or it's just, it's one of those days where you just, man, nothing seems to line up, or yesterday was not so good. And so you wake up this morning and you kind of still have that yesterday hangover, if you will. You know, some things are kind of just don't feel right. Action, guys, is the only thing that's going to make that feel right. So those days that you don't feel like it, it is more important than any other day that you stick to your routine, that you stick to the discipline that you've promised yourself you would have, that you go out there and take massive action and get started early, right? Create some momentum in your day. Because those days that you don't feel like it will be the days that you look back on and realize that those are the days that got you to where you want to be. When you look back at those moments of adversity, those are the things that pivot your life. Those are the things that allow you to reach a new level, because you have to earn it in this life. And earning it doesn't come from the days that everything goes right. It doesn't come from those days that it's easy to get out of bed. It doesn't come from those days that you go out and run and, man, you feel like $1,000,000. Everybody's had one of those days, right? You go to the gym and you just feel great, man. You're in a good mood. You feel good. Your workout goes good. You walk out of there feeling accomplished. The gains in life, guys, don't come from those days. They come from the days you don't feel like it. And I think too often in this world, there are people, if you are surrounded by the wrong people, there are people that will give you a pass for those days. They say, oh, it's okay. Just stay in bed. Oh, it's okay. You don't feel good. Don't go to work today. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to do that. Oh, you can do that next weekend. Oh, you can get to that to-do list later. Oh, I'll fix that for you, honey, some other time. It's those days that you don't feel like it, guys. Those are the gaps in your life. Those are the inches that will lead you to incredible places. And so I ask you to think about that as you go into your day today. You know, what is it that you do when you don't feel like it? And what is it that you tell other people around you? And how do you encourage them, inspire them, and motivate them to be better when they don't feel like it? Because if you are the person that allows other people to not reach for their potential, shame on you. And so those people that are around me and interact with me a lot, they will tell you that, you know, I am respectful. I try to be, you know, motivational, inspirational all the time. I'm not really somebody that tries to, like, you know, I'm not a huge fan of like coming down on people or however you want to describe that. But it is imperative for you to be a good person to other people, for you to hold everyone around you accountable to reaching for their potential. And there is nothing in this life that frustrates me more than watching someone squander their potential. And listen, we all go through seasons and periods in life that are not easy, right? Things happen in our lives and we are defined by how we react to those things. There's going to be sometimes a lot of days that you don't feel like it. There's going to be weeks and months that go by that you may not feel like it. But you will be defined by what you do in those moments, by how quickly you get back to yourself, how quickly you can pivot and get back to the best version of yourself, by getting back to creating momentum, creating a new path from being off track. And it is our responsibility to each other to make sure when you see someone who is off track, lend a hand, man. Don't turn away, and don't encourage them. Do not be an enabler to allow people to live in that place for a long time. Because the only thing that's going to get out of it, you said it, Jeff Baker, is to take massive action to get pointed in the right direction. And what happens is people, you know, I use this quote a lot, but the only difference between a rut and a grave is the depth of the hole and how long you stay there. So if you find yourself in a rut and you decide that you're going to stay there for an extended period of time, then you will turn that rut into a grave. And so it is all of our responsibility as human beings to each other to hold each other up, to encourage each other when we have those moments, to recognize your circle, your friends that are around you, maybe when they're going through a tough time, and lend a hand. Man, I can't tell you what it means when somebody reaches out and just says, hey, man, how you doing? And I start talking about business. Mr. Calloway is somebody that always comes to mind that does this. Judd Burden does this. We'll call on the phone. How you doing? I start talking, normal. I'm thinking they're just asking how things are going. So I start talking about it. No, how are you doing? You okay, man? Everything okay? Most of the time it's great. But to have somebody call and ask that question encourages you. So if it's one of those days that you don't feel like it, that inspiration you get from somebody else, taking the time and having the mind and the heart to call you on the phone and ask you how you're doing. Or maybe somebody stops by your house or your office to just say hello and see how you're doing. These are the important things in life, guys. And these are the ways that you take those days you don't feel like it. Because here's how I feel. Those days that I don't feel like it, it is easy for me to find the fuel because I have all of you guys. I have the people that work at our company that work alongside of me to create something special. I have my family. I have my friends. I have all kinds of people that the most important thing to me in life is to not let those people down that are there for me and that believe in me. And I would tell you guys to think about that the same way. Who is depending on you? Danelle Delgado has a quote that is literally one of my favorites that says, who loses if you don't win? So on those days that you don't feel like it, who loses if you don't win? Who loses if you hit the snooze button every day and you lose 15 minutes, half an hour per day that you planned on having? Who loses? And when you look, for me, when I come into my house at the end of the day and I look at those little faces, I got chills right now, man. I'm not going to let them, I will not let them lose because of me. And I would tell you to find that person in your life or those people in your life that you don't want to let down, that you would never let down, that nothing will stop you from making those people proud of you. And use that as your fuel on those days that you don't feel like it. Because it's not about how you feel. It's about the principles that you live by and the routine and the discipline that you can create that creates that life that you want. Because here's what I see in the world. I see a bunch of people that do this, that yap about wanting to be great, that talk a lot and don't back it up. And if you're that person, you have to take a long, hard look in the mirror. We've all been that person at one point in our lives. Remember that. Every single person that you see that is successful has been to a place that they didn't feel like it, that they were in a rut. And they made a choice. And so if that person is you, whether it's on a scale of 1 to 10, whether you're a 1 or a 10, and as far as the extreme of that, you could change it today. You can make that choice today to start getting better. And 1% better, 1% better, 1% better every single day. Hold yourself accountable. Find an accountability partner. The reason that I set up this group the way that I did with having an accountability partner and setting up a Facebook group is because left to our own accountability, we don't do well. None of us. But if you can think in those moments where you don't feel like it about those people that give you that fuel, the unlimited fuel supply of your spouse, your family, your children, those people you work with, the promises you made to the people around you. And if you don't, then don't be surprised when people don't follow you and don't believe in you. because that's what I see a lot, right? It's like, man, I can't find, this is a great one with business owners, but specifically contractors. I can never find good people. I would tell you, if you can't find good people to work at your company, take a long, hard look in the mirror, because it's probably you. Because there are a ton of great people in this world. And if you exhibit the things that people are attracted to, then you will find those people. But if you can't find good people, maybe you are exhibiting behaviors that are attracting the wrong ones. And that's why you think, I can't find good people. Well, you're finding people. They're just the wrong ones because you're attracting something that's not right. And I would bet, to close this out, I would bet that the things that matter, those things that you have to change, are probably happening on the days that you don't feel like it. It's those days that you make a decision to do the right thing, regardless of the circumstances. I say this one a lot too. Everybody has values and everybody has discipline and everybody has things they stand for. Until the stuff hits the fan and you're going to lose money, or you're going to lose time, or you're going to risk a relationship, or you're going to, whatever it is, when something's on the line, then you'll find out what people actually stand for. Then you'll find out what the real person is. Very easy to say that you stand for something. Very easy to do this. I want to be successful. Hear it all the time. If you're not willing to put in the work, my dad used to say, wish in one hand and in the other one, and see which one fills up first. And that's the truth. As you go into this Thursday, think about that. When you don't feel like it, those are the inches that will make your life great. Those are the times that you can use to your advantage to make your life something incredible. And as you make your own life better, everybody's life around you starts to elevate. The high tide rises all boats. And so those days that you don't feel like it, look around your life. Look at those people who are watching you and make that decision. You're going to let this day go? Or are you going to set an example that those other people can follow and make their lives better, make them proud of you, instead of looking at you just like everybody else in the world, just another average person? I hope this was a message that impacted you, because it's something that we all need to remind ourselves of, right? We all need to be in that place of holding ourselves accountable. We all go through those down times where we find ourselves in a rut. It is how you react and how long you stay in those times. When you don't feel like it, how long does it take you to get back to your best self? It's that period of time that separates the good from the great. The great do not spend a lot of time in those moments. They get back to work. They get back to the best version of themselves, like that. I know it because it's happened in my own life. I used to wallow, man. I used to just sit and think like, man, why me? Why does this stuff happen to me? It's only happening to me. It's not only happening to you. It's not only happening to me. It happens to everybody. It is the difference in how you decide to deal with it. And do you, as several people have said here, take massive action to correct the problem? Or do you stay in that rut long enough to turn it into a grave? That's the deal. Because the problems and the challenges and the adversity of life will not stop. They will never stop. It doesn't matter how much success you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much your family loves you. That stuff will never stop. But when you face it, and those days you don't feel like dealing with it, those are the days that will define your life when you look back. I promise you. I promise you. I appreciate you guys being here. I will see you again tomorrow morning. It's a big day tomorrow, man. We got 90 days of hard discipline. I've been on 75 hard now. I think this is day 4. I've been on it since Monday. Yeah. So I started kind of Sunday, but I counted Monday as the first day. So this is day 4. I already got my stuff done this morning. I'm checking the box. I'm starting to master the 75 hard thing because I just figured out I could just get up early. If I can get up early, I check all those boxes, man. Then all I got to do is eat healthy, drink some water, maybe knock out one workout in the evening, but that's it. And everything else is checked off before I even sit down and talk to you guys. So I was up before 5 o'clock this morning, making it happen. So those days, and by the way, when I opened my eyes, man, I didn't feel like it at all. But I drug my butt out the front door, and by the time I got moving, man, I felt pretty good, and now I feel amazing 3 hours later. Awesome. I hope you guys have an awesome Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow morning right here, same place, same time on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.